This is Brian Sheehan, this is Interop TV, and we're outside on this beautiful Northern California day, and you can see the rolling hills behind the hot stage facility. I've got Rick Bradley here from Appcon Corporation. He's going to tell us a little bit about their role in InteropNet and what they provide.
What Appcon brings to Interop is matrix switching, aggregation, and filtering, and it enables us to troubleshoot any network issues by being the center point of management for the network monitoring environment.
Great. Network monitoring is one of the great processes in networking engineering. We can go and grab different pieces of information from different feeds. Well, Appcon's got some really cool equipment to allow us to extend and manage our test tools so we can get and peek into different pieces of the network. So why don't you describe on how you folks are implementing that within the InteropNet?
Well, what we're doing is we're taking network feeds such as taps from NetOptics and mirror ports from Enterasys, and we're bringing that and we're physically connecting that to the Appcon switch, as well as the analytical tools such as NetScout, IDSs, and even laptops with things like Wireshark running on it.
Right, and you know, even though the InteropNet is made up of lots of really cool equipment, in a regular corporation on a day-to-day basis, no one really can afford to have one instrument per segment of their network. Don't your switches allow you to leverage the existing test tool investment and extend it further?
That's true, it does. What we do with the aggregation part, you can take many of the feeds or the network segments and aggregate that to just one test tool port.
Right, it doesn't have to be just any test tool. You can actually apply some filters, so peel off VLANs or peel off filters and so forth, so that perhaps the voice will go to a voice tool, web traffic will go to a web application monitor and so forth, so that you can leverage your tap investment, you can leverage your scarce resource of spans ports or mirror ports, whatever you want to call them. It really and truly does allow you to stretch your investment in test tools, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It does, very much so.
So, what else? You know, we've got these tools that allow us to provide a look into every portion of our network. And in the case of the InteropNet, this year we're definitely going into the cloud. We've got 3 co-location facilities from Qwest, one in San Jose, one in Denver, one in Newark. How's Appcon playing in that role?
Well, what Titan Management software is it's a server-based software program that allows you to control all 3 of the network switches that are in the Interop environment this year.
Okay.
One in New Jersey, one in Denver, and one in Sunnyvale. And what it allows you to do, instead of managing each one individually with their own embedded web interface and CLI, you can do it via one web interface, which is the Titan Interpoint software.
Right, so like an aggregator.
Yeah. Actually, it's just software that manages the 3 switches and gives you one easy user interface to manage all 3 of those different switches.
Right, instead of having to remember lots of different addresses.
Different addresses, maybe even different usernames, passwords, all that type of stuff. You have one for one location, and yeah, that's
perfect for the cloud, because that way the InteropNet crew can actually peek into the different segments. You know, say for instance, we might need to troubleshoot a link between, say, Denver and Las Vegas or Denver and Sunnyvale. Instead of having to have 2 different pieces of equipment just to look at those links, we can actually go into the Appcon infrastructure and say, I need access to that link, please switch something in.
That's right, that's right. With the Titan web server, what that does for you is you just type in one IP address, not 3 for the 3 individual switches. You type in one. They're all managed. All 3 of those switches are managed by the Titan Interpoint software.
Sure.
And so if you need to connect a critical feed from the network in one location to, say, a tool farm that you have in another location, all you really have to do is go into one web management interface instead of those 2 different.
Super cool.
Instead of using those 2 different switches.
Right, so we're actually really leveraging our tool investments now.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, you know, I tell you, this is a really compelling story. There hasn't been a whole lot of product like this in the market, and AppCon certainly brings a lot to the table. And you know, considering the complexity of the InteropNet, we really and truly need to be able to take a look and watch every single link. You know, some things do go wrong. No matter how hard we plan, things go wrong. So, tell you, thank you very much.
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure.
Same here.
This is Brian Chi with Interop TV. Enjoy the show.